Welcome back in our C language course. By the end of this course, you will be able to build a basic console-based C application. More than that, I hope. What we learned in the previous video: C if else, C for loop, C while loop, C break and continue, C switch case, and C programming goto. And what we will learn in this video, that is C functions. Topic what we will cover in this video is C programming function, C user defined function, C function type, C recursion, C storage class. So let's start. C programming functions. A function is a group of statements that together performs a task. Every C program has at least one function, which is main. Or you can say that you can divide up your code in separate functions. How you divide up your code among different functions is up to you. But logically, the division is such that function performs a specific task. A function declaration tells the compiler about a function's name, return type, and a parameter. A function definition provides the actual body of the function. The C standard library provides numerous built-in functions that your program can call. For example, you can call strcat to concatenate two strings, mem cpi mem cpy to copy one memory location to another location, and many more function is already present in C programming language, which is already written in the compiler. Only what you have to do, only you have to add the preprocessor comment before your uh, before your call. So you have to define the preprocessor comment. You have to include, means hash include, then preprocessor comment header file, like studio.h, like string.h, like different header file is present in C compiler. You have to attach that one as per your requirement. So how a function is defining? First, it's a return type, then function name, then parameter list, then body of the function. In the curly bracket, you have to write the body of the function. What is return type? A function may return a value. The return type is the data type of the value the function returns. Some function performs the desired operation without returning a value. In this case, the return type is the keyword void. Function name. This is the actual name of the function. The function name and the parameter list together constitute the function signature. So the first line, the return type function name, this return type to function name, including the parameter list, this first line, except the curly bracket, is the signature of that function. The signature of the function. Suppose you are calling this function, but the function definition is you written below of the call, then you have to write this signature over top of the call. I will explain you when I am doing the coding. Just wait. Parameters. A parameter is a placeholder. When a function is invoked, you pass a value to the parameter. The value is referred to as actual parameter or argument. The parameter list refers to the type, order, and number of the parameters of a function. Parameters are optional, that is, a function may contain no parameters. And last part is the body of function or function body. The function body contains a collection of statements that defines what the function does. Let's do one example. So first I have to include the studio.h function. And int main. I'm taking to integer variable and taking two variables, taking two values from user. Enter number. Second one I'm entering this C. Then I want to get which one another variable I'm defining as a integer type C. C is equal to max L. Then I'm passing A, comma B. Printf max number is return 0. Now I am defining the function. Okay. So first I will run this code. Let's run. Entire number. Okay, I'm printing 5. First number I'm giving 5 and second number I'm giving 7. Max number is 7. Good. It's giving correct data. Second one I'm putting 8 and the first one second one I'm giving 1. Yeah, it's giving correct data. Max number is 8. Now I will explain this code. First I declared hash include studio.h, which I already told what is that one. So I will not explain it more. You just see our first video, you will come to know. Next, I define the int main because this is a key this is an entry point of your program. So I am declaring the main function. So main is also a function. When you come to know that is a function, when you can see this first bracket open and first bracket close beside of any name, that time you come to know that is a function. If I am written this one like this, that doesn't mean it is a function. When I am defining like this, I'm attaching first bracket open and first bracket close after that word, then that means it's a function. Simple like for mathematics. In mathematics, why how we are defining a function like fx? It's known as function. So here also it is main is like f and inside of bracket x is the argument. So here also in mathematics also x we are using as an argument. So same concept in C language also. So this is fx. Now I am declaring three variables, integer type variables, and I am taking two values from users from using scanf. And now we are calling the user defined function. What do you mean by user defined? I will tell you later. So I am calling user defined function and I'm passing two values or arguments inside the function a and b. So in that, whenever I'm calling this max val, and that time it is going up, and it is searching for the definition of Maxwell, and it is getting the Maxwell function in before of int, before of main. Now I am explaining Maxwell. So Maxwell, first I put return type. So int is a return type of the function. I want to return the value which number is bigger than other. So I defined it's a integer we will return. So I'm defining it as a return type is a integer. So whenever whichever value I want to return into the main program or calling program, that time we have to define that return type. So I defined it as a integer return type. Suppose if I want to return character type value into the calling function, then I have to write char here. So whatever the data type I am returning, that data type I have to return here as a return type of that function. Next is the function name. That is, I am putting maxval as a function name. Third one is the parameter list. Parameter list is nothing but whatever the values I am passing into the function from the calling function, that that is the parameter list. I am passing two values a and b, and that I am throw that ball. It's like a I'm throwing a ball, and the fielder want to catch that one. So sorry, and fielder want to catch that one. So I throw a value, and fielder catch it in num1. So a is mapped in num1, the first parameter, and the second value which I throws as b, that is catched into number 2. If I want to throw c, then it will catch in the next value like int num3, like that way. So it is a one-to-one mapping, you can say, like a is a passes to number 1, and b is passes to num2 in these two variables, and I am defining that variable data type in front of the variable name as a integer. Now inside of that second bracket, the function body is nothing but a statement, and it's a logic I am written, that which logic will defines that which number is bigger. So I declared one integer type result value, and then I am storing that one with the correct information. So it's totally logic, and I already explained how to build the logic. It's totally on you. You can use if else, you can use operators, question mark, colon or operator, like that in a different switch case. You can use anything, and I try to use if else condition here to build this logic. For logic section, you can refer the video too, and you will get whole details of logic. And then I'm returning value of the maximum value. So whichever is maximum, it's stored in r value, and I'm returning that r to the calling function. So this is the calling function. Main is the calling function, because from main only I am calling that Maxwell, and R is returning to C, because C is the fielder. You can say R is throwing a ball and C is the fielder. So C in C, value of R will store, and whatever the max value, that is stored in C, and I am printing the C in the next line in printf. Next number is percentage %d comma C. So right now in output only you can able to see I'm passing number 1 is 8 value, and number 2 is 1 value, and maximum number is 8. So here 8 is showing. So this is how we can write the function. Now if I want to write this function below of main, what will happen? Let's see. If I define like this, so it is throwing one warning that implicit of declaration of function Maxwell means when Maxwell is compiler is trying to check the whole coding, it is trying to check where Maxwell definition is written, but it's not able to find the Maxwell definition. So that's why it is a warning. Now if I write this line, Okay, actually, code is running. That's why I'm not able to. Yeah. Okay. The output is showing, but one warning is there. So I want to remove that warning also. I just define this. Now they have no warning because when Maxwell function compiler found that time it searched for that Maxwell definition and it goes up and it is able to get the signature of the Maxwell. This is how you have to define the signature of the function. And if you write this signature over the main, then you can write that function anywhere of your code. So if you want to write it below of main, you can write it down. Only write the signature of that function top of the main. And now if you want to run this program 90 and 100 09 and max number is given correct data. So this is how we have to define a signature before the main. Now let's go for some C programming functions. There are two types. There are standard library function. Another one is user defined functions. How function works in C programming? It's already explained you in the previous slide with coding. So what do you mean by C user defined function? C allows you to define functions according to your need. And these functions are known as user defined functions. Like right now I just explained you Maxwell. It's a user defined function. You have written the code inside of the inside of that function of body, and whatever you want to write it there, or whatever work you want to do with that function, you just write it down. That is called as a user defined function, nothing else. Another one is I told you already, standard library function like printf, scanf. These all are known as function. But this definition of the function or work description, or you can say job description of that function is already written in your stereo.h file. So that is known as a standard library function because we are using that function to build a program. We are not changing the execution point of that function, or we are not changing the meaning of the function. So it's a standard function which we are using, which compiler is providing us to use it to build our own program. So that is called as a standard library function. Types of user defined function in C programming: one is no argument passed and no return values. No argument passed and no return value. Let's see one example of that one. Before that, I just tell you that this function, which I showed you in the example as an example, that is known as argument passed and return a value. I am passing two variable, number one and number two in my function, and I am getting the result of that, which one is bigger, as a return of that function value. So the last point is the argument passed and return a value. That example is which I already explained you. Now I am giving you an example of no argument passed and no return value. So if I doing like this, same program I am doing with no argument pass, no returning value. First, I will run this program, then I will explain the coding of this one. I'm putting first value as a 7, second value is 5. Max number is 7. So this example explain you no argument pass, no return value. Whenever we are not returning any any value from the function, or there are no return type of that value, then that time we are defining that is as a void. Void means no return value or no value. So void and max val have I'm not passing any parameters. It's a blank. Just I'm entering in main and I'm calling that function max val. That's it. And it is directly goes pointed directly goes to this number 11 line, and it is trying to start execution from number 11. And first line itself is a definition of the function, that is void max val, first bracket start, first bracket close, and second bracket start. Then I'm defining the integer type variable, three integer type variable. I'm taking two values from users, number one, number two. Then I write it down the logic of that, how to check the which number is bigger, and then I'm printing the output that which number is big. I'm printing R. Then the pointer will goes back to main without returning any value, because it's a void function, void return type, and it's back to this number line 6 pointer. Now it will execute number 8 line, that is return 0, means program execution is completed. So this is the example of no argument pass, no return value. Next one is no argument pass, but a return value is there. So if I change this code and I put only this one, and I'm defining C as a variable, and I'm putting like this, and I'm printing max value, max number is percentage D, comma C, semicolon. And I just want to remove this one, this line, and return R. And I have to make one more change, that is int. Now, first I will run this program. Yeah, it's running. They have no error, no warning. I'm putting 7 as a first number, and 8 is a second number. Max number is 8. Right. So here return type is there, but no argument I am passing. So no argument pass, but return type will be there. This is that function example. So I am defining C as an integer type, and I'm taking the wanted to get back the max value in main only, but I want to take the inputs from inside of the function, is a defined function. So I am taking the number one and number two inside of the function. So I'm calling that function without any argument. So argument I'm taking inside of the function, and I just did the logic. I just put the logic inside of the function, and I'm returning the value R, means which number is big. And I am returning that value into the main function, and C is catch that output of that function, means C is now taking the bigger number, and I just printed the C number here in the main function. So this is an example of without argument return type will be there. Argument passed, no argument passed, but a return value is there. So this is the example of that. Now argument passed, but no return value. I will do the same coding change here also with this example, and I am putting void here and int num1 comma int num2. So no return type, so no print here. I will print here, that one I will print here. I will explain the code after this changes. Just give us a second. Let's first run this program, then I will explain that program. Enter number 4, 0. Number is 4 max. So here we are passing argument, but they have no return type. So I'm putting no return type, that's why I'm putting void, and I'm passing argument, so that's why I placed the number 1, number 2 as integer type in the parameter list. And I'm taking values from in main function a and b, and I'm passing that values into the max val a comma b, and I'm catching that value a and b in number 1 and number 2 respectively, and then I am doing the logic of which number is big, and then I am printing the value here itself in that max val. So there are no return from max val to main function. So that's why they have no catching values. Catching variable is also there, also not present in the main function. So this is how we are defining with argument, no return type. Argument passed but no return value, and argument passed and a return value is also there. I already told you the first coding itself, that is argument we are passing, and return value is also I'm passing. So that is the 4 types of user defined function in C. We can call functions with arguments 2 types. There are 2 types way we can call the functions, that is, one is call by value, another one is call by reference. When I'm calling by this a comma b directly, that means it's known as a call by value. We are passing the value directly to the function to do whatever task he wants to do in that function. That is a way of call by value. That is the meaning of call by value. So this example you directly shows you this is the example of call by value. I'm passing the value of a into num1. I'm passing value of b into num2. Next example is that call by reference. Suppose I don't want to pass the value of that function. I want to pass I want to pass only the reference. Reference means whenever we are storing a value, we are taking a value from a user. That time, that value is stored in our memory, and I want to send the memory location of that to the function. That time, we are calling as a call by reference. It's a concept of pointer, but this is a function class, so I will explain that one also here it's itself directly. Suppose I am writing one another piece of code. I am just changing this code to another code, swap a value. Okay, so let me write the code first. Before swap, I want to print the values a d comma a, and same thing I want to print for b. So if I run this program, it will print a is equal to 100, b is equal to 300. Just putting slash in after that a. So A is equal to 100, B is equal to 300. Now I want to swap this value, means B will be print 100, A will print 300. How it's and that I will do through call by reference. So when I am passing call by value reference, that time I have to pass the memory location number to the function. So how we can pass it then? We have to attach ampersand before of the variable. So ampersand is A is right now passing reference of that variable, not the value. When we are passing only A, that time value. When I am passing ampersand A, that time we are passing reference of the variable and the B. And now after the same thing, I want to print the A and B. Same logic I am written here. Only I have to write slash in here another. Okay. Now I have to write the logic of that function. So I am writing that one. The integer type variable. So I have to define that as a integer type here also. Now the logic I have to write. I am defining one temp variable and I am storing the value here in temp variable, the first value, that is x, means A. I am storing here A. Then I am putting y value inside of x. Now I am storing value of y as a temp. And only one more thing I have to do is I have to write the signature of that swap. First I will run this program, then let's see. Now look, first one is a printf, which is correct value 100 and 300, whichever I am assigned. A is equal to 100, B is equal to 300. After this function call swap, again I printed A and B. That is now A and B is printing A is equal to 300, B is equal to 100. What happened? Now I will explain you. So here I am passing the reference of the variable. I am not passing the value of the value in the function. I am passing only the reference. So I am using ampersand with the variable name, and I am catching that value here int star x. This is a pointer of that variable, means pointer of that reference. So I am catching that. Because this variable is an integer type, that's why I am defined as a integer as a before of that pointer. So this x is points to a location. So whenever I am using star x, means it's a pointer of a location, not the value. It's a pointer of that location. So and int y, that y is another pointer of that ampersand b. So value of that b now stored in y and value of a stored in x. So pointer x. So if you want to check that value, means if you want to check the value which is written which is there present in that location, then we have to do pointer x or pointer y. If you want to do if you want to check the location of that location of that variable, then you have to write only x. So I'm just putting it in temp type variable. I'm defining an integer temp type variable, and I'm storing that in the temp the first value pointer x. So the value of x now stored in temporary variable. Now I am putting our y value into x value, and then I transferred temp value into the pointer y. Now in the same location, now the values are exchanged, means a goes to b, b goes to a. but the location is not changed. Location will be the same. So that's why I'm not returning from this value, and I'm not printing a and b or x and y in this function, or else I am not sending any value to main also. I am just printing the a and b in main directly without returning any value from the function, without printing the values in the function. I'm just printing the same thing in the main, because the same location the same location, a and b already swapped, means in a location now b value is there, and in the b location a value is there. So that's why it is showing a is equal to 300, b is equal to 100. Okay, so this is known as call by reference. Now the next part, we will discuss the recursion. See recursion. So now we will discuss about the recursion. This is an interesting topic in functions. A function that calls itself is known as a recursive function, as this technique is known as recursion. Means you are calling a main function. From main function, you are calling a function, and inside of that function, you are calling again and again the same function. Then it's known as a recursion or C recursion function. Like in this example, in this below picture, you can able to see in int main I am calling recurse function, and in when it's the pointer went to inside of the recurse function, it is again finding the recurse function itself in that function itself. So it is known as, again it is calling the recursion function. Means the same function it's calling again and again inside from that function. It's called as a recursion. Means repetitive of that function is known as a recursion of that function. Recursion have some advantage and some disadvantage also present there. Recursion makes programs elegant, means it looks like a very good uh, program, uh, and however, if the performance is vital, use loops instead, as recursion is usually much slower. When we are using recursion, that time it is performing slow than if we use the same logic in a loops. So try to avoid recursion and try to use loops instead of recursion. That being said, recursion is an important concept. It is frequently used in data structure and algorithms. For example, it is common to use recursion in problems such as a tree traversal. In data structure, you will come to know what is tree traversal. In the tree traversal program, there we have to write recursion program instead of loops. So some places we have to write recursion definitely, but some places we can use loops instead of recursion. So before storage class, I just want to show you one recursion example. I want to print factorial. I want to do factorial calculation using recursion. Let's do that program. This factorial is the same concept which we are using in math. First, I will run this program, then I will explain this program. I want to do calculation of 5. So 5 is coming 122, which is absolutely correct, I guess, because I have to write like the calculation is like this: 5 is equal to 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. So this is the total is 120. 120. So this is how factorial is calculating. In mathematics, the sign of factorial is exclamation. Yeah. So 5 is 120, and our output is also giving the correct answer 120. So I will explain the code first. So this is the signature of the factorial. It's already I explained in the just few before seconds. So I am not explaining this line. Now I am going back to direct call this function call. This if is equal to fact n. I am passing the n as a 5 variable 5. Whatever the value I am sending, that value I am sending here as a call by value, that is 5. Now this n is capturing here as an integer, and then I'm checking the value. If it is 0, then return 0. If it's n is equal to 1, then I am returning value 1. If it is not 1, not 0, then I am calculating the factorial. Means n is right now 5, then fact n minus 1. Now I am passing 4, factorial 4 value. So fact 4 then calling this factorial function again, because this is called as a recursion. Means fact inside of fact, again I am calling fact, reducing the parameter, reducing the parameter list. That is right now it's passing 4. So fact 4 again it's going to into inside, and it is again passing fact 3, then 2, then 1. Like that way it is happening, and finally it is printing 120. Means it is multiplying with those all the data, and now the value of 120 is returned to the main function in variable f, and f is printing here factorial percentage d is equal to f. So 120 is printing in output. So this is how recursion will work. Now, last point is a tree storage class. Every variable in C programming has two properties. One is type, and then one is storage class. When we are declaring a variable, then we are defining that variable one data type with data type. That is called as a type. Means the data type is known as a type of that variable, and the second part is a storage class. Storage class means how much storage it will do with that variable. How much storage we can do with that variable. There are 4 types of storage class. One is automatic. When we are defining int a, it is defined as an automatic int n. Means whatever the value we are assigning with that variable, that will automatically assigned with inside of that variable. Second one is the external. The external storage class is nothing but the storage class. Just a second. Yeah. External storage class is a meaning is a extern. That means the storage class is used to give a reference of a global variable that is visible to all the program files. When you use extern, the variable cannot be initialized. However, it points the variable name at a storage location that has been previously defined. So we have to define it as a extern. Suppose one data type, again I have to write, and then the variable name of that storage type. Then next one is a static. Static is another part of the storage class that which is instructs the compiler to keep a local variable in instance during the lifetime of the program, instead of creating and destroying it each time it comes into and goes out of scope. So when we are defining static variable, static as a storage class, that time the value of that variable is a kind of constant, or it's a global for all not constant, it is a global for all the program. And third one is last one is a register. Register storage class is used to define local variables that should be stored in a register instead of RAM. So it is directly stored in the register, not in the RAM. So this is the four types of storage class. So one is in storage class, one is local variable, one is global variable, third one is register variable, and fourth one is static variable. We explained all of them. Local variable means which variable is we are defining inside of a inside of a function that is known as a local variable. If we are declaring one outside of the function, then it's known as a global variable. Register variable, when we are storing that variable inside of the function, but the value of the variable is stored in register. That time it's called as a register variable. And static variable, it's nothing like but the variable value is a it always start with whatever the value we are assigning, but it will change as per the program. But whenever we will it starts from beginning, that time it is assigning as a it will work as a global variable, that is a static variable. So this is how the total C function we covered. The this in this video we tried to cover this topic: C programming functions, C user defined functions, C function types, recursion, and the storage class. If you have any doubt, any queries, just drop you a message in TutorOps, and we will get back to you with your queries. And we are giving you the some uh, problem set after this video, and try to solve that problem set first, and then we are providing the solution also as a video tutorial in that for that problem set. Just try to revisit that uh, answer. If you're correct, then it's fine. If it's not, if you are wanted to know more, then please drop us a message in TutorOps. Thank you.